If you're hot, life runs on easy, and nowhere is that more obvious than on mom. TikTok's flooded with thirst traps, Instagram's traditional limited.
Tell them what you need. We're creating an agent, and the name became Tony. Now let's give them context.
By the end of high school, Marlon was ranked one of the...
Whoa, what happened? Skipped so much.
It doesn't matter if you were born with one or if you want. Having 3 faces is a cheat code on social media. I mean, we've seen it a million times. Every other week there's a new vehicle, a new dream, a new guy who makes middle-aged women act fair.
What is this?
Which brings us to Marlon. A
Marlon.
little over a year ago,
Honestly, not like, I don't think he's like
Marlon basically appeared out of nowhere.
that good looking.
One day nobody knew who he was. Next, he was trending with Mr. Beast, walking in
Mr. Beast.
and being crowned the internet's rising star. On paper, it's the same story we've seen 100 times. A pretty face shows up, and a career launches overnight.
Wow, that's a lot of people, but nowhere near the I show speed cloud.
I dug the less that story held up, because Pat Marlon actually took it here. It's a lot uglier than you think.
Let's see what pass he did. What pass he took. Golf cart.
Marlon Lundgren Garcia.
Yo. Yo, yo, yo.
Marlon
That used to be him?
Lundgren Garcia grew up in Malmö, a coastal city in the south of Sweden. It was there where he fell in love with soccer, or as the Europeans
Far away.
football.
My bad.
Whether he was playing for local teams or traveling abroad to watch the parades, the sport really consumed Marlon's entire childhood. But it wasn't long before basketball came into the picture. Marlon
Basketball. LeBron.
was tall for his age, and the game came naturally. By high school, he was actually pretty good. Good enough to get recruited into one of Sweden's top athletic programs.
He was? By the way, I've never watched this before.
I really couldn't pronounce the school if I tried, but it's stacked with an alumni list and includes names like Hugo Larson, Emilia Nilsson-Leif, and Zlatan
Damn,
Ibrahimovic.
Ibrahimovic.
By the end of high school, Marlon was ranked one of the top basketball players in Sweden, which is what started the U.S., specifically the Lower Columbia College in Washington State, where he played college basketball. Now, Marlon's basketball career was short-lived. After just his freshman year, he went back home to Sweden and never played college basketball again.
Damn.
So what was the point in telling this? Well, because it was here, in an apartment at Lower Columbia College, that Marlon's social media career began. In early 2021, one of Marlon's college teammates pulled out his phone, recorded a video of the two of them dancing. He posted it to TikTok, and it popped. The views skyrocketed, and people flooded the comments asking the same question. So Marlon did what anyone would. He made
Everyone asked
Throughout
that.
his freshman season, Marlon and his teammate kept at it, spamming the same setup with the exaggerated smile and 15 seconds of choreography and blue. And it kept working. Hundreds of thousands of views became the norm, and the followers kept piling up. Once he got back to Sweden, you could tell Marlon had done the math on why his video was pop. And spoiler, he
He
wasn't the
knows
man.
he's fine.
The choreography got phased out in favor of better lighting, more deliberate angles, and a shirt that more oftentimes than not just didn't make it in the shot. But hey, it worked. By late 2023, Marlon pulled in almost 1 million followers, basically just by posting thirst traps to TikTok. But there's a problem with TikTok. The app doesn't really pay its creators, and the little it does pay is pennies.
Here's my stat for the month.
Yeah.
201 million views, so probably a lot of money, right? $293.80.
Ooh. That's tough.
My paycheck.
That's why every TikToker eventually pivots. They start a YouTube channel, they launch a podcast, or even just ditch TikTok entirely. Joe Bartolozzi is a perfect example of this. He blew up on TikTok, moved to streaming, dragged his audience
Oh,
with
yeah,
him, and
this
now
guy.
he's one of the biggest streamers on Twitch,
Oh.
and barely touches TikTok at all. Which our next video is on Joe, and we really want to do like an interview. So if you want to see that, go spam his chat and his comments saying golf carts sent you a D. But anyways,
Go
Marlon
spam
tried the
his
same
chat,
thing.
yo.
In early 2024, he went live on Twitch for the first time. And despite a TikTok following pushing a million, only 50 people clicked in. The next stream fewer. The one after that, even less.
Damn.
This is where
Well, I
Marlon's
have
pretty
one,
much
so
stands out. Because there's a difference between an audience that likes looking at you and an audience that likes listening to you talk. Marlon had spent 3 years building first kind, and now he needed the second. So if you're Marlon, what do? You have a million people who follow you for one reason, and one reason only, and you've just spent 2 months proving they're not going to follow you anywhere else. You're 22, you dropped out of college, and the dream you've been chasing for years is collecting dust on a platform that doesn't pay. Great. Most people in that spot quit. They get a real
Jobs,
TikTok account goes dormant, and that's the end of the story. You see, when the attention isn't converting, you really only have two choices. Accept that the internet gave you the wrong kind of audience, or figure out how to put yourself in front of the right one. And that's basically the entire game online. It doesn't matter if you're a streamer, a creator, or even an entrepreneur.
This guy's like a rip-off on his tweet.
And that's where WAP comes in. WAP just introduced WAP ads to help you run your ads on ads.
Sponsoring my bad.
Nobody was sitting behind a desktop anymore. They were all out doing IRL streams.
Yeah. Like no one does video game streams aren't that popular now.
And almost all of them were doing it from the US. That was the path. If Marlon wanted Ben, he had to go get it. So he scrounged up what money he had and booked a one-way flight to Miami.
Miami.
He didn't really have a plane past landing. He had a hotel for a few nights, a camera, and a goal streaming every single day. That's pretty much what he did. Every day was the same. He'd walk around, talk to strangers, eat, sleep, stream, eat. After a few weeks, he was pulling in over 150 viewers per stream.
Okay.
And then one afternoon, he opened Twitch and saw this. Lacey and Flicks, two of the biggest streamers on the platform, were doing an IRL stream.
Lacey had a crazy glow up.
Strangers on the street. Marlon saw the stream and instantly recognized where they were. Yo, it has to be right here. Come on, it has to be right here. He found them, walked up, and asked for a free haircut.
What's up, man? What's good, man? Oh my God! What's up, man?
Wait,
And just like that,
this is how he got
the guy who 3
famous?
months earlier was watching his viewer count die in real time was suddenly live in front of 30,000 people on the front page of Twitch. This is the exact reason you put the one-way flight.
Kind of like a lucky way to get famous, in my opinion.
Streamer, plays down there. At 3 a.m. when they're wondering if it's ever going to work. And from the outside, it really did look like it was working. Every single day.
Wait, how did he afford a place to live?
And then the past week, advertised $40. But the numbers that actually mattered, the ones in his bank account, were going in the wrong direction.
Oh, now he's onto that.
Because here's what nobody posts about. Marlon's streams were growing, but he was burning through his savings faster than Twitch was paying him out. Every day he stayed in Miami was another day of cheap hotels, cheaper food, and doing the math on whether getting a haircut was worth eating that night.
But I don't have $40 to spend, man. I don't have $40. I'm not eating tonight. I promise I'm not eating tonight.
Damn, that's tough.
My $5 that I got yesterday.
This is why you should live with your parents,
Because I stole this cup and didn't give him money.
for as long as possible.
What do you...
For weeks, he was living on the road, bouncing between hostels with beds that he couldn't fit in, and Airbnbs that were covered in roaches.
What the f*** is that? What the
Yo,
f*** is
man.
that?
This is what it actually looks like to bet everything on yourself.
I have been able to see there is no one in this world that any other streamer will do this, to go to this extent to try to fucking pursue me. There's no way.
But after 2 months in the States, Marlon's funds had dipped deep in the red.
Oh, he's in the negatives. That's deep down.
And he was forced to go back home to Sweden.
I just sound so bad. I don't know what to do on that. This is my last resort town. Go on.
For reasons that aren't really clear, his parents' house wasn't an option to stream from anymore. So he had to set up shop in a garage an hour away from home.
I couldn't find an apartment. I couldn't find a office. I couldn't find anything.
Which honestly sounds like a step backwards. But the bet had already started paying off. He just didn't know it yet.
He lived in the garage.
September 2024, Marlon's viewership climbed past 500 stream, and the money was finally starting to catch up. As he grew, so did his network. Within a few months, he was streaming with huge names like Ray, Nick Nyercy, and even flew back.
The way Ray got famous is the most lucky way to get famous of all time. What if he had never run into Kai Cenat on that day in 2024.
Mexico to stream IRL plays.
Or 2023.
Let's fix that.
Who the hell
Python,
are you?
SQL, Power BI, and more on DataCamp. By January, things had really started to line up. Streaming was finally turning into something sustainable, and after months of paperwork, his US visa came through. So he packed up the garage, flew to LA, and moved into Christina's house.
I'm
To
looking at
whose
my
house?
crib. It's a nice little, you know what I'm saying, area right here, but they said I can have this, I have my stream room in it, and I can just like crash on the couch.
That's smart.
Just a few months after landing in LA, Marlon had reached this inescapable level in streaming. It was like you'd never heard of him one day, and then suddenly he was everywhere.
There's this new streamer named Marlon.
Yeah, that's like how I feel like a lot of people heard of him.
Guy gets a million viewers every day.
No, I saw this when he first started in like this shipping campaign almost.
And that's actually a pretty accurate way to describe what happened. Marlon went from averaging less than just 600 viewers in December to over 15,000 in May. That's a 2,400% increase in a matter of just 5 months.
His first time being at the house felt supernatural. Phase Marlon, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
It's hard to not give Lacey his flowers for his role in this. Lacey was a much bigger streamer at the time, and basically made Marlon a staple character in his streams. But he wasn't doing it out of the kindness of his heart. At the end of the day, Lacey's streams performed better when Marlon was in them.
Yeah.
Look at his most popular TikToks. Half of them are Marlon.
Yeah, that's kind of
What
crazy.
made it work was really the dynamic between the two of them. Just the sight of them next to each other told you everything you needed to know. They looked like two people from completely different movies who somehow got written in the same scene. On paper, the duo didn't make sense. One had a cool, calm, pretty boy energy, and the other was loud, chaotic, and completely unfiltered.
Why do they have a dirt bike in the living room?
So well together. One's the type of guy who says something weird, realizes it, and then makes it worse by trying to fix it. The other says everything with a smooth, charming confidence. You put them in the same room, and the joke kind of writes itself.
Yo,
Yeah. Man.
That's exactly what Marlon and Lacey had. The
Oh, yeah,
internet
go,
now
go,
would
go.
look at it and couldn't get enough. And once the clips started spreading, more and more doors started opening on their own. Aiden Ross, Mr. Beast, Facebook.
Phase didn't sign you yet?
Yeah. Marlon became a household name in streaming with a core audience of viewers who genuinely wanted to watch whatever it was that he streamed. Throughout 2025, he continued to push his reach as far as he could, and in late October, he took one of his biggest swings yet, a full tour across the United States. With the goal, 50 states in 28 days. By the end of the year, Marlon had become one of the standout faces in streaming with over 1.6 million
yeah, like I started to hear about him like in October of like 2025.
to his name.
Marlon, he blew
Mark blew up.
Marlon is the definition of rising star. The beginning of the year, he was just getting known, and now he's literally like one of the top known people in the street. That is the definition of a star who rose.
Having a good night.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so excited to present
I remember
the Rising
watching.
Star Award. This category celebrates
I
the
remember
streamers who
watching
began the year
his
with under
like the
1,000
highlights
average
of his.
viewers and have shown rapid growth and huge potential for the future. And the winner is
Marlon.
Marlon!
Oh man. It's kind of crazy, you know. It's been a long year. Want to thank my team, of course, Jake, Rocket, Miles, Ozzy, Matt, my editors, Dylan, Alley, everybody's been helping me out. And then, of course, Lace, all the face guys, everybody I collab with, you know, y'all pushed me this year. So, thank y'all. I wouldn't be here without y'all, so I appreciate y'all. I want to say last name, my bad. There's a lot of downers, a lot of haters always. Always gonna talk, but they're not the ones standing on this stage. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now, there are a lot of people online who really credit Marlon's success to his looks.
Yeah, yo, like that's a crazy like transformation. Like basically homeless to sitting with NFL owners.
In truth, the goal for this video was to figure out if Marlon's success really just stems from pretty privilege, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't go back and forth on it. Because he really has worked hard and sacrificed a lot to get where he is, but at the same time, he takes his shirt off on TikTok and it pulls 125 million views. And then people start using AI and put their faces on his
Charlie
How
Kirk.
to do the Marlon? I'm
We
just
are
trying to be
Charlie
myself
Kirk.
trend. But if you stop looking at pretty privilege like some sort of scarlet letter, you realize that Marlon's looks actually put him into a category of streamer we've never really seen before. This is definitely going to sound like total glaze, but it's also kind of true. So, Marlon's like this perfect blend of traditional celebrity and your average streamer. He's attractive enough to have that Hollywood vibe of being wildly unattainable, which is the same reason that he was the first streamer to sign with Calvin Klein.
Calvin Klein. Yo, Calvin Klein shirts like shrink so much. Like I had one shirt, it shrinked like this much after like 2 washes. Don't buy Calvin Klein.
And the first streamer to walk the runway in Paris Fashion Week.
I'm about to walk in Paris Fashion Week tomorrow. This is beautiful. This life is beautiful.
That audience that I mentioned earlier, it sounds shallow, I know, but the one that just liked the way that he looked. He found a way to monetize it. Through partnerships and campaigns with massive brands like Ralph Lauren, H&M, and Burberry, he's built out a model career that's almost as impressive as a streaming career.
H&M sat with their creative director and said, we want you to bring the first streamer to London Fashion Week for us as well. Brother, this is crazy.
To take it a step further, he has a natural tie to an audience outside the US, which is huge,
Yo.
because the US is known as the entertainment capital of the world. Streamers based here tend to organically build audiences that are US based too. Don't get me wrong, that's a massive audience, but it's only a fraction of what's out there. Think about what iShowSpeed did.
iShowSpeed.
A sport that's kind of irrelevant here in America, but it's the most popular one.
iShowSpeed
And
is
he made
like
it the center of his content.
the
Now look at Marlon. As someone who
Michael Jordan
already
of
understood the
streaming.
sport. So it didn't feel forced when he started integrating into his content. The guy goes and plays in a charity match and seamlessly fits in with some of the greatest ever played game. He's
Oh, yeah.
integrated into the soccer community
I saw
at
that.
speed. I mean, I was watching the Champions League semifinals the other day, and there pops up Marlon and a halftime commercial with Declan Rice. At the start of this,
Oh, I thought that was Mbappe.
At the start of this, I told you Marlon's story was uglier than it looks from the outside, and I think that's still true. The beds that were too small, the oatmeal in Miami, the roaches as the Airbnbs, and the garage that was an hour away from home. None of that fits the easy move story everyone wants to tell you about good-looking people online. But here's the part I keep coming back to. The looks got him in the door, he could have stopped there, and a lot of people would have. Instead, he kept walking through every new room that opened, and now it's pretty tough to put him in just one box.
Since I was the kid in this, I feel like all of us wanted to become like YouTubers. It's not about the money, it's not about fame, it's not about clout, it's not about none of that shit like at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it because I'm like, yo, I made it because I
I
had
have
to make it.
one viewer,
The only one that's
which is myself.
the biggest right now is myself and my mind.
You are so delusional I am, but listen. The delusion got me you. The delusion got me my dream house.
Say to my mom, they're like, Mom, listen, Mom, I'm gonna go to the States. I'm gonna be there for 3 months. I don't care where I sleep, I'm gonna make this shit happen.
The delusion got me my dream car. The delusion got me almost 2 million followers on Twitch. The delusion got me almost 5 million followers on Instagram.
You see stuff on YouTube, and like, this is not even real.
Yeah, kind of inspirational, low-key.
The delusion made me pay my mom's rent forever.
So why is that so important to say on that? Because my mom got me this place, got her.
Yo, that used to be him?
My mom got me this place, and now it's my time to get back.
What's up, mama? Chad, say what's up to mama.
That's his mom.
The delusion. Feed my whole family out here for Christmas whenever they want, whatever they want. The delusion. I can get my niece whatever she wants, whenever she wants.
For the guys that do know or doesn't know, Mark is my brother.
Oh yeah, like, they kind of look the same. You could tell.
The delusion. Maybe we do rising star.
God gave me this for a reason.
Nice trophy.
Be the delusion.
Thank God for
Be delusional. Be delusional.
God, we thank you for these past few days. Thank you for all the experience. Thank you for the blessings. Thank God for letting me achieve my dreams and letting my family be with me along this journey. God, I thank you for everybody in the chat. I pray that their family